Wow. So before I start, could you just take a moment to look at me stood here for a minute and just think about what it's like to be stood here right now. And if you think you would be nervous, would you mind giving me a little wave? Thank you. So I was looking for some answers for quite a long time. I was nervous, I was scared, often tearful. I couldn't concentrate. It was affecting how I was at home. Claire would say things and I wouldn't have heard her, and I weren't even watching the telly. And it affected my work so much that I needed to do something. And it manifested when I was doing my grade 2 piano, and halfway through I just froze. I couldn't think straight. I thought about all the children that were doing their grade 2 piano that day and how a 40-year-old man couldn't even get through this. So I decided to start looking for answers. I started to meditate. I read books, audio books. I even did a blood test to see if I had any food allergies. And of course there was something. I did an adrenaline test as part of this, and I was in fight or flight mode pretty much 24/7. So the course of action was to change my diet, meditate even more, and take a lot of natural, expensive remedies. And after a year, things felt so much better. So when I did the adrenaline test again, I was a little surprised when my cortisol levels were at a dangerous level. And really, I had to do something, otherwise there'd be serious consequences. It was at that point I decided to let go. I decided that there was no sustainable answer in a tablet, and I should just accept things as they are. A friend came into my life and he said some really profound things. He said, "You already have everything inside." He said, "Everything will come to you." He started to teach me yoga everywhere, at home, in the gym, even at yoga class. And then one day I got an email from Dav and Push. Well, actually it was from the Flame. I hadn't met these guys at that point, and they said, "Come down and do some meditation." And I met so many amazing people and shared experiences with them, and I realised that I was exactly where I was supposed to be. Because deep learning always comes, but it's not always comfortable. Sometimes it's not how you want it to be, but eventually you realise it's exactly how you want it to be. And it takes time to see the cycle of life. So I'm no expert. Well, actually, I am. I'm an expert in me. And after all this meditation, there's a few things where I realise I can't concentrate sometimes. And I wonder if I'm doing it right. I haven't seen colours or floated like other people have experienced. And I seldom have zero thoughts. But you know what? I'm okay with this. And I've talked about letting go. What does that mean? Because you often hear people say, "let go," and you think, what do you mean, let go? And I can't explain it exactly, but I can give you some examples. I was listening to a podcast recently, and a lady called Sharon Salzberg said something really amazing. She said, it's not what happens during meditation, it's how you are with what happens during meditation. Each time you start again, you succeed. And each time you start again, you let go. And the more you let go, the more able you are to let go of bigger things, so that you can understand what's going on and you're more calm. Some other examples are really useful. They're really some informal meditations that I like to do. So when I'm in a rush and I'm trying to get somewhere and I see a red light, instead of being annoyed, I laugh at it. And I take a breath and just think, you know what, I'm supposed to be here right now. Or when I'm having a busy day and the phone rings, instead of just answering it, I let it ring 3 times and take a breath. And remember, I'm letting go again. A couple of years back, we got a cat. His name was Socks. He's 8 years old. On the cage it said he was friendly, affectionate and vocal. We didn't really know what vocal meant until 3 o'clock the next morning, and we knew exactly what it meant then. So the next few months, he was making so much noise in the night, waking us up. One morning, I decided to go down, and instead of being annoyed as I might have been, I thought about where he'd been and what had happened to him. And I sat down with him, and I gave him a cuddle. And he just got up and got into his basket. He'd never done that before, and we'd had the basket a few months. And I realised that sometimes you're too close to see things. You need to step back to be able to let go and see what's going on. Deepak Chopra talks about how unlikely things are to actually happen. For example, for me, that specific cell and that egg fertilising, the chances of that were pretty miraculous. And if you multiply that by all my ancestry, survival of the fittest, natural disasters, disease, accidents, and then all the synchronicity that had to line up to get me stood here right now, multiply that by all the synchronicity that it took for all you guys to happen to be here. But the odds were all increased by the idea of us being human and what that means. And what that means for me is turning up as your authentic self, showing empathy as you guys did when you waved at me at the start, sending compassion, supporting others and offering your gifts with abundance. Because this opportunity is a huge gift. And my words is my gift to you. And one of the biggest letting go examples I can give is coming up here and sharing this with you. Being human is accepting things as they are and embracing the current moment as it is, like this precious moment right now. Thank you, everyone.